Hi everyone, welcome back. My name is Andrea and I am the Knitting PT, and this is my channel where I talk about all the things I'm making. Hello everyone, it's good to be back here again. It's been a little bit of time since the last time I recorded, and I'm going to kind of explain why. If you don't follow me on Instagram or anything, you may not have known that I have started writing a blog over on my website, ptandrea.com. And so I started writing a blog just to have another way to share the information I have as an orthopedic physical therapist to help crafters and makers of all kinds to help take care of their bodies. We all learn in different ways. And for the past 3 years, I've been mainly putting out my educational content in the form of videos and reels. But I decided it was time to make some long form content where it's written and where I can also reference the videos and reels I have and kind of help you all put it together too. So if you haven't seen it yet, please do go check it out on my website. I plan to really be writing very regularly. Right now, my first series is up, and it's about how to prevent hand pain. And I'm working on my second series right now, which is about shoulder and neck pain too. I'm open to hearing any ideas you have or any topics you'd like me to address in my blog also. So feel free to leave those in the comments down below if you have any ideas or anything you'd like to see me cover. I'm really excited about that. And the best way to know when there's new information out is to join my newsletter, which is you can sign up for it on my website. And my newsletter, I'm going to be sending out probably weekly, no more often than weekly. And in it, I'll be highlighting a new blog post and also kind of giving a little peek behind my life, talking about what makes I've been wearing that week and that kind of thing. So just kind of a more personal way to share a little bit about a more personal way to share a little bit about my making life with you all, separate from here on YouTube too. So if you're interested, please check it out. So everything will be linked down below, links to my website, my Ravelry, Ko-Fi, Patreon, Instagram, all that stuff. And I will also link down below in the description box any makers or dyers or patterns that I talk about today too. So you can look there for reference to find anything you need. So let's get into it. I do have several finished objects to share with you all and some works in progress that I've been working on. So let's start off. Okay, so the first finished object I'd like to share with you is the one I'm wearing. This is the Weekday Tee. It is a pattern by Amy Scher of Amy Scher Makes, and it's been out now for I think about 3 weeks. And I test knit this for them. And I knit the size B, I believe, B or C. I can't remember. I think it's B. It's B. And I ended with about like 1 inch, maybe less than 1 inch of positive ease. I did this on purpose because the yarn I used is from Ritual Dyes. It is the Undine base, which is a 60% cotton, 40% linen base. My experience with especially bases that have a little bit of linen in them is that linen tends to stretch out over time. So I anticipate that as I wear this, it will kind of stretch out a little bit. So I opted for something with like very little ease. As you can see, it's pretty form-fitting. There is some waist shaping, A-line shaping in the pattern to kind of give you a general A-line so that it can, expand with your body. I guess most of us aren't rectangles completely. And it has a beautiful little lace raglan detail. It is a compound raglan, which means that the rate of increases in the raglan are not equal. Like it's not one row of increases, one row knit straight, one row increases, one row knit straight. It is a curve so that you don't end up with a lot of bunching in your underarm, which I do appreciate. What else to say? All of Amy's patterns, most of them now include bust shaping, so that if you need to add some extra short rows to accommodate for a bust so that your front and your back of your garment are the same length, they teach you how to incorporate that. I don't typically need it, so I don't incorporate them in mine. But otherwise it's a beautiful garment. It's very classy, classic, easy dress up and down, easy to throw on. It's really comfortable. I also really like this base from Ritual Dyes. I wasn't sure at first, honestly, how I feel about it, because when you're holding the yarn in the skein in your hand, it does feel kind of dry to touch. But knitting with it, I discovered really wasn't a bad experience at all. My hands didn't tire, my skin did not feel dry. Yeah, I really liked working with it. So I definitely will be working with it again in the future. And they just released a DK weight version of this base, which I hope to try out in the future too. And the colorway I use is called Prairie Flax. Yeah, it's this beautiful light blue. So that is what I'm wearing. I have a bunch more finished objects to share with you. The next one is another tee, and it's another test knit, and this one I did for Samantha Guerin. This is the Springline Tee. Let me hold it. There we go. And it's a beautiful tee. It is knit top down, and as you can see, it has a beautiful lace design on the sides, and they're on both front and back. It has a gentle scoop neck. Yeah. This one's super cute too. I will wear it for you in a future episode to show you how it looks. Yeah, and it's super wearable. I really like it. This one I knit the size C, which I think is a 40-inch bust circumference to give myself about 5 inches of positive ease. I opted for more positive ease just because with the shape of this kind of garment, I like to have a little bit more like room. So yeah, but I really liked it. The lace patterning is just a 6-row repeat. And for me, I would consider myself like more of an advanced beginner lace knitter. And for me, it was really easy to memorize. It was really easy to tell where in the pattern repeats I was in. Yeah. So I do recommend it, especially if you're someone who maybe isn't so sure about lace or really isn't what you wouldn't really call yourself a lace knitter. I would say this is very accessible and easy to start with. The yarn I use for this is Woolberry Fiber Co. in the Cormo base, which is a fingering away 100% Cormo non-superwash base. They do not carry it. They carried it just one time. And I would say I probably think I know why they only carried it one time, because when I was knitting with it, there was a lot of vegetable matter still left in the yarn. And I know Bethany probably picked out a lot of it already, but there was still a good amount. And I know why it wasn't all picked out. It's because it's hard to pick out. It's like embedded into the yarn. So even now when I'm looking at it, I'm still like picking out bits here and there. But overall, it was really lovely to work with. You can see it comes up with a very interesting stitch definition. Because the yarn has a little bit more crimp and twist to the actual fibers itself, I think that's why it looks like that. Yeah. So it does look like it's pilling a little bit, and that's really just the way the yarn knits up. Yeah. I will say this is not completely next to skin soft for me. Like, I can wear it and I can be fine, but I think if I were to start sweating, it would start to prick me a little bit more than merino would. So honestly, it's hard to tell if it's pricking me because of the vegetable matter in there or because of the yarn fibers. Yeah, but this colorway is Toffee Chip. So both of these patterns are out now. I highly recommend them to add to your summer wardrobe. I do want to knit more of these too. We'll see if I get to it because, I'm often test knitting and you'll see that hasn't changed. But yeah, so yeah, highly recommend these two. Weekday Tee, Springline Pullover. All right, next one I've got to share with you is the Ausina Pullover. I don't know how to say it, and I keep always getting the Z and the C mixed up in where they are in the word. It is part of a knit along hosted by Uknit2, a yarn store out of Toronto, and this is a pattern from them. And ta-da! So I did finish it. I'm pretty happy with that. And let's see. So it is a top-down color work pullover. The yarn and the pattern were gifted to me for the knit along, so thank you. And I will say, as a color pattern, it's pretty easy, accessible to do. The pattern itself calls for holding a fingering weight and a mohair together. I cannot do mohair, so I substituted with a DK weight yarn. What I used was from Santa's Garden Yarn, the Double Sunday base. And the colors I used were almond for this off-white color and croissant for this kind of browny yellow color. Yeah, and I really like it. This is a non-superwash yarn too. And yeah, that's great. The modifications I made were that for the hem and the cuffs, the pattern has you alternate the ribbing with the contrast color so that you have a striped look instead. I started doing that and then I ripped it out and decided just to do the contrast color because I think it has to do with me using just one strand of yarn, but it came out very stiff and I didn't like the way it looked. Yeah, and when I bound it off, it just looked strange to me. Aro brought up later that maybe I should have steam blocked it and then made a decision, but I'd already ripped it out at that point. And this way I also felt like it mirrored the collar a little bit more. So those are the modifications I made. The pattern itself also includes some beading work if you want to do it. I didn't do it because I tend to snag my sweaters a lot. I didn't need another extra thing to snag my sweaters. So yeah, but it's a really lovely design. Very springy though. Right now here, well, actually, the temperature is going to drop next week, so maybe it'll be cool enough for me to wear it. Yeah, but it's lovely. The knit along is still going on, so if you would like to join, you can use the code TheKnittingPT. And I'll put it below to get 50% off the pattern if you'd like to join. All right, another finished object to share. I told you I've gotten a lot of knitting done this past month. Is Tino the Wolf. So this is Tino. He is from the Moosh and Friends book. And if you all have watched previous episodes, you will know that in the fall, I knit Aggie the sheep for my daughter, and Tino the Wolf is for my son. And yeah, so he's a wolf. He's got a tail, and he wears a colorwork sweater, and he has a pair of broken rib pants. These are actually like really cute. And this part is a different color. It's the color of the contrast color because I ran out of the blue. But I think it looks pretty nice. And then he also has a bag. The bag itself is supposed to have two little buttons here, and then you're supposed to crochet loops to secure the flap down. But I didn't have buttons that were small enough to bag, and then my son didn't want buttons anyway, so we took them off and I didn't do the crochet loops. So you can see he's got a messenger bag with a pocket and a flap. Yeah. But yeah, Tino is super cute. Are we going to focus? Here we go. Yeah. And his pants do have a hole for his tail, which I found really cute. Yeah. So this is Tino. And I'm really glad to have him done. Yeah, and it's super cute. His messenger bag actually is really cute. Yeah, his whole outfit is just really cute. But yeah, I'm going to take a short break from making these stuffies. But I do plan to get back to making some of the other characters that are in the book. And just kind of make them all eventually because they're really fun. They're really cute. They're super fun to make. And when my kids are too old and don't want to play with them anymore, I'm going to take them back. All right, the next finished objects I'm going to share are spinning related. So I've shared before that I am doing the monthly club from Little Fiber Co. and it is a cookware club. So all the colors are based off of and inspired by cookware, like the Le Creuset Dutch oven kind of cookware. And so this is March's colorway. It's called Time. And here it is all spun up. This is 100% Falkland. I believe it's 27 microns. Yeah. And I spun this woolen spun. And how I did that, because the club is a comb top. It comes as a comb top, which is a worsted preparation. And so what I did was I just basically opened up the braid and then I separated it into pieces and then I spun from the fold. And I believe that, makes my yarn technically woolen spun because then the fibers are more chaotic and there's more air in it. Yeah. And let me tell you, I really loved spinning this. I completely fell in love with spinning Falkland fiber when doing this. Yeah, Falkland is just my jam now. It's really good. It's the perfect amount of like texture to it, but not too much texture. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it so much that I went and I bought more Falkland comb top from another dyer. I think it's Little Fern Fibers. And I'll probably show you in the next episode because I'm in the middle of spinning up that one. Bought more Falkland to spin up more because I enjoy the process so much. Let me open this up to show you. So the fiber itself, it's a, time color, but it's a gentle kind of sea green with some lighter green variegation. I don't know if it's going to come through on the camera. I found that it's very hard to photograph, but it's super lovely. And as you can see, I'm getting a little bit better with my consistency. Still not, super consistent. There's still these parts, but overall, much better. So I'm very pleased with that. This is about like a DK weight yarn. I think I have like about, I forgot, 200 something yards, like low 200 something yards. I did buy a longer nitty knotty, so my skeins should start looking a little nicer and less like donuts. And then another spin I finished that I don't think I shared here is this one, this really fun kind of confetti piece. This was made from 2 different art bats that I got from Yoni Makes, Susan. These were some art bats she had that were, the combination of all of it together is Polwarth, I think merino, some in sari silk. So this is what it came out as. And I also really liked spinning from the art bats. They're definitely a woolen prep. So it was really fun. Again, consistency could be better, but it was super fun. Super fun. Yeah. And then I've been practicing my chain plying. Not really good at it, but it's been a good way to use up the ends of my bobbins. Yeah, so they're just little cute little mini skeins. Yeah, these are just practice. I'm probably not going to do anything with them. But yeah, so these are the spins I've been working on, and yeah, I've been really enjoying spinning. Spinning has really been something where I just gravitate towards doing it when I just have like 5 minutes or 10 minutes of time in between things. Having my wheel set up in the corner of my office has been really helpful because I can just sit down and just get at it. I've been finding it way more accessible for me to really start spinning versus when I use my e-spinner, I have to plug it in, I have to set it up on a table because I don't have a permanent place for my e-spinner to live. I still use my e-spinner. I use it mainly now more for what do I use it for? I use it to do some chain plying, but I've really been gravitating towards my wheel so much more. Okay, that is it for the FO parade. So now let's talk about what I'm working on my needles. So as you all know, in the last episode, I talked about how I have 13 works in progress. We have now whittled that number down to 10, but I signed up for 3 test knits, so we're back now to 13 again. So I have been doing like a mental inventory of my whips and kind of trying to prioritize them so that I can work through them, So my first priority right now is my drum dress by Woolfolk Yarns. And here it is so far. As you can see, I made a lot of progress actually. So it needs a neck. It has a funnel neck, and then some sleeves too. It has a kind of like elbow length sleeves. So yeah, here it is on. I've got a good amount done. As you can see, if it was a sweater length, I'd pretty much be almost done with the body, but it is a dress. So I have many more inches to go. Yeah, but it's actually knitting up much faster right now. Maybe it's just I've gotten the hang of working with the boucle more, so my rhythm is getting a little faster. So yeah, it's really good monotonous knitting for watching TV that you want to focus on. Sometimes, so recently I've been watching K-dramas, and K-dramas, I don't speak Korean, I'm not Korean, so I read subtitles, and this has been really perfect for that. So because I can read subtitles while just knitting stockinette. Yeah, so it was great for that. The yarn and the pattern were both given to me by Woolfolk Yarns, so thank you, Woolfolk. This is knit up in their Flet DK base, which is their boucle, and the colorway is number 22. Which is kind of like this brown taupey color. Yeah. What else to say? The pattern itself is actually pretty easy. It just takes time because you're knitting a dress. Yeah, that's all I've got to say about that. So this is my first priority right now because I would like to finish it before ideally, I would love to finish it by the end of May. I don't think that's going to happen. So I'd like to finish it by like mid-June. Yeah, I would say I probably could finish it by the end of May if I didn't have my test knits also. All right, the next work in progress that I've been working on a little bit is my Traveler Shell. This is a pattern by Andrea Mary. I cast it on a while ago. I think in the fall, maybe. Oh, and I'm in the middle of a row. Great. Okay. So here's my progress. I literally just have, this is the bottom, is knit bottom up. And yeah, I've figured out what the pattern repeat is, so I don't need to keep looking at the pattern, which is really nice. I am holding 2 yarns together like the pattern calls for, and the yarns I'm holding together are Duckling from Ching Fiber on their Veranita base, which is a cashmere and silk base, I think. I don't have a tag. And then this is Cream Tangerine from Sunday Fiber Co. Yeah, so I'm holding these 2 together to make this. I would ideally love to have this done also because it is a perfect layering piece for spring. But I don't think I will because of my test knits again. Yeah, so yeah, those are the 2 main projects I'm working on besides my test knits. I have lots of other projects, clearly, because 13. And some of them are just like tees that I would also like to have finished. I would talk about what the test knits I am working on, except some of the yarn from them hasn't come in. Yes, I broke mini rules this time. If you have been around, you will remember that first I kind of had a loose rule of just 1 test knit a quarter. Clearly, I'm doing 3 right now, so that is out the window. My other unspoken rule to myself was that I would do test knit if I didn't have to purchase yarn for it. And clearly, I just said that the yarn for one of them is not here yet, so clearly I purchased yarn for it. Yeah, rules are made to be broken, right? So one of them is the Lake Stripes by Ozetta. I'm test knitting that. And I'm testing that one because I already had half the yarn for it. The sauna base from Wool Dreamers. If you'll recall, I received some in a package from Amy Scher for her new shop. So I purchased some more from her shop, a second color to make the stripes. And I'm also test knitting the campus vest for Amy Scher. And they are carrying Harrisville Yarns Daylights yarn in their shop. And I've never tried that one before. And I am very curious to try it. And there is a 15% off code if you're a tester and you're going to use the yarn from their shop. So I decided to do that too. And that is on its way. It's going to be delivered today. So I'm very excited. So I should be able to show you in the next episode. And then the third test knit I'm doing is a test knit for Samantha Guerin. As you can tell, Amy and Samantha are repeats. I love their designs. Yeah, they're my people. And Samantha is now testing a tank, which I'm super excited about. And actually, I have the yarn for it, so I'm going to show you. So it's a tank, and the yarn I'm going to use is from Moondrake, Fiber Co., Rochelle, and this is the colorway Silver, and it is on a base called Pika Pika, which is 60% superwash merino, 20% silk, 20% ramie. And it's 400 yards. There's a label. I purchased this from her when I was in Kansas City at the Unwind Fiber Arts Retreat. She was the featured dyer and I was the speaker. It was really great to see Rochelle and spend time with her and to get to squish all her yarns. I've been a fan of Rochelle for a long time, since I think like 2019 or 2020. Yeah, so it was really lovely to get to spend time with her and to get some yarn from her in person. So I'm going to use this for the tank, and I'm going to finish it and I'm going to wear it to Flock. So speaking of that, if you haven't known, Flock Fiber Festival is happening again this year. It is going to be the second weekend of August. I think it's August 9th through 11th in Seattle. And I'm going to be teaching there this year. Super excited. And I think when this video uploads, it will be right around when registration opens for classes. So I will put a link down below, hopefully, to at least the Flock website, and then from there you can find the class registration. I'm teaching class on Saturday afternoon, and it is called Maker Anatomy, and we'll be talking about all things about anatomy that are relevant to makers, and I'll be telling you about why these muscles are important for the way we make and why we should take care of them, and I will walk you through an exercise program to strengthen and to stretch. It's going to be super fun. I taught a version of this class at Vogue Knitting Live, and the people in the class really loved it, so I'm really excited to bring it to Flock this year. yeah, so I will be a flock. Me and my products will also be a flock. I will be at the Makers of Collective booth with Britt. So I'm really excited. So I hope if you're going to flock that you will come and see, you'll come and take my class, come stop by the booth, say hello. I love to meet all of you. I'm really excited to be kind of on the West Coast, meeting people who probably live more on the West Coast and that kind of thing. So yeah, so let me know if you're going to flock. And if you're not, think about it maybe, especially if you're nearby. Yeah, I think it's going to be a really good time. Yeah, a lot of people are going. What else was I thinking about? Oh, yes. The other thing is, too, that is because I brought up Kansas City, I want to let you all know also that Unwind Fiber Arts is also hosting another retreat next year. It is going to be on the second weekend of March, and it's going to be in downtown Kansas City. It's going to be super fun. I'm going back to teach. Labiana May will be there. She's the featured speaker for the retreat. A lot of people are going to be there. Like, I think Lindsay of Larkspur Knits is going to be there. It's going to be super fun. So maybe mark it on your calendar if you're in the Midwest area. Tammy Garrison, who owns Unwind Fiber Arts, and her team are really excellent. I found the event so well planned when I went last year. This year is going to be even bigger, even more offerings. And they're just really absolutely lovely people. And so are the people who are like local to there, all the shop regulars who went to the retreat last year. So I'm really excited to return next year. And I hope if you're somewhere in the Midwest area that you will consider coming to, and it's going to be a really good time. Yeah. Okay, I think that's all I've got to talk about. I don't have a lot of whips to show because all of the whips I was working on have all become FOs now. But I'll be back in a few weeks to kind of show you all my test knits and that kind of thing. I'll be busy knitting away on them. But in the meantime, you can find me over on my blog or in my newsletter. Thank you so much for watching if you are still watching, and I will see you all next time. Happy knitting.